Hi Yogi, welcome to this practice to help reduce stress and tension within the body. So find yourself a comfy seat. I love to just sit on my bolster like this, but you might like to sit cross-legged on cushion or block, just starting with a straight spine. We're just going to start with a breathing exercise called S breathing, which I find a really helpful way to slow my whole system down if I'm feeling in that kind of fight or flight mode that we often get into when we're stressed out. So all that we do is we take a deep breath in, and then as we breathe out we make this hissing sound. It's like for the whole duration of the exhale. And all the hissing sound kind of does is it controls the length of the exhale. So it makes the exhale around double the length of the inhale. And that has the effect of slowing the heart rate and calming the nervous system when we make the exhale longer than the inhale. So we'll do that together. Okay, so closing the eyes, taking a nice deep breath in, and then hissing through the mouth. Inhaling again, hissing it out. Do it 3 more times. Inhale. Two more times, just following your own pace. One more time. And then you can gently open your eyes again. Maybe already feeling a little bit calmer. I'm going to come off the prop, put it to the side, and come into a nice wide leg child's pose. Of course, you can use your prop underneath you, maybe block under head or bolster under you, or just hands underneath your head. Just take a moment to ground. And what is it in particular that's causing you stress? Or has it been going on for a while? Have you kind of forgotten what started the spiral? I'd like you to just imagine that your stress is being reabsorbed by the earth as you ground here for your next few breaths. Your inhale fills up the back body, and your exhale just sends Move your stress down into the earth to be reabsorbed. You don't need to carry it anymore. Okay, from your child's pose, just gently start to push into your hands and lift up. And come into a tabletop position. And just start to kind of free flow. So you're kind of wild cat cows, not too much structure. You're just moving through hips, maybe circling, coming over through the hands. And using this as an opportunity to acknowledge where you've got trapped tension in the body. Are you a jaw clencher? Can you kind of try and soften your jaw? Okay, and then coming back through to center, tuck your toes and come up to a downward facing dog. And continue a little bit of movement just to release through the legs. You might move your hands a little bit forward. And just kind of letting your head hang like this, lower than the heart, just down regulates the nervous system. It just helps to bring this kind of calm to the body. Any movement that just intuitively feels good. Right, wiggle the bum from side to side. You might dip the chin towards the chest, stretching the neck. Okay, and then we're going to roll back forward to tabletop. Then we're going to come to sit on our bum. Bringing the legs out in front of you. You're going to draw the right leg in. And then bring the right foot onto the left inner thigh. You might put your block or any nearby prop you have under your right knee. You're going to just stretch out the legs a little bit. Okay, inhale here. Exhale, fold forward. If you've got a strap, feel free to use it so you can reach the foot. Otherwise, you might just grip the big toe with your right hand. You can have a bit of a bend in the knee if that gives you a little bit more space to come forward. I find stretching out the legs to be particularly effective in kind of reducing the amount of time we spend in our head. Okay, so stress is often mostly caused by our thoughts about what's happening, sometimes feeling out of control, overwhelmed. But when we fold in, we have that opportunity for introspection, for just down regulating, simply being with each breath. And the legs being our connection to the earth, bringing us out of our heads back into the legs and the body. Okay, using your next inhale, you can slowly come back up. And just lift that right knee, straighten the right leg. We're going to do the same on the other side. So bend the left knee, bring the left foot onto the right inner thigh. Pop the block under your knee if it's quite high up. You can also sit on the block. Take an inhale here. And exhale to fold over your right leg. And breathe. Right knee can be slightly bent, but try and keep the foot flexed so the toes up towards the sky. Again, stay out of your head. With each breath out, let your stress and worry just dissolve down into the earth. Okay, and slowly you can come back up again. Release the block. Straighten your left leg out. Bring your hands behind you. You're just going to bend both knees. Press into the mat and lift into a little reverse tabletop. See if you can stay for a breath in the air. And slowly lower back down again. Going to come into another forward fold, this time with both legs in front. You can sit up on your block if you like. Another option is to have your bolster underneath your knees, so your knees stay a little bit bent. Or use your strap over your feet. Okay, this time we're going to inhale and lift the arms up and find some length in the spine, and then with an exhale, reach forward. Grab your feet if you can reach them. Don't force it though, you can also just hold onto the ankles. Sitting up on something really helps, especially in this forward fold, because it just gives a little bit of extra kind of tilt to the pelvis, and that means that your spine can stay nice and long as you fold forward. As I said, knees can be a bit bent or very bent. Less about kind of finding a really deep stretch and more about just down-regulating your nervous system. We're going to take 3 S breaths. Inhaling. Exhaling, that hissing sound. Inhaling again. Hissing it out. Last one. Again, slowing the exhale right down. It's almost like you're trying to let as little as possible air out at a time as you can. Okay, and then you can release the feet and you're slowly walking your hands back up. Bend your knees, bring your bum off the block. Hands behind, we'll do a little reverse tabletop again. Stay for a breath in the air. Okay, and then lowering back down. We're going to come back to laying on our backs. Okay, so you just lay all the way down. Let a big sighing breath come out once you land. We're going to just bring the right ankle over the left knee. Our figure 4 pose. Lifting the left foot off the floor, hold behind the knee or behind the thigh. Keep letting go when you're in your pose. Keep choosing breath over thought. Calming down over rushing around. But also just knowing that you're not alone in what you're going through. We all go through periods of stress. Just being kind to yourself. You can lower your left foot back down. Keep the right ankle over the knee. And you're just going to lower the knees down to the right, but keeping them as they are. Okay, so you're still in your figure 4 pose, but it's like a figure 4 twist. If that feels too much on your left leg, you can release your right ankle from on top of your left leg. If it feels good, just stay as you are. So one more breath. Turning the head back to center, lifting the legs back up. And we're just going to cross the right leg fully over the top of the left for our eagle twist. Shuffle your bum slightly to the right, lift your feet off the floor, and then drop your knees down to the left. You might put your block under your knee, whichever height supports it. So I've got my block kind of on its side. I haven't got that much space to spread my arms out, but ideally arms shoulder height, and you just look the opposite way to the knees, trying to keep your shoulders down. If your shoulders are lifting, if your right shoulder's lifting, you might bring your block a bit higher, okay, because we want to try and keep the shoulders down when we twist. You might find somewhere in between that works. Okay, take an inhale to lift the legs back up, uncross them, shuffle the bum back to the middle, bring your left ankle over your right knee, draw the knee in towards the chest as you hold behind the right leg. Relaxing the jaw, closing the eyes. Just allowing the system to slow down. And stress is so normalized in our culture. Okay, being busy and rushing around it's kind of normal. So sometimes when we're doing it, we And we don't feel out of place, so sometimes that's why it can build. It's probably a state that we're in way too much. Lowering the right foot back down, dropping the knees over to the left, so you're in that kind of open twist again. Left ankle stays on top of that right leg, only if that feels good. If it doesn't feel good, take the foot off the knee. Some people it can be a bit too intense for this. Right hip. Breaths are still flowing even though I'm not reminding you. Slowly lift the leg back up. Cross the knee over the other one, left knee on top of right. Move your bum a bit over to the left, feet off the floor, then drop your knees to the right. Trying to keep your left shoulder down. That might mean putting your block under your knee. You can also just use your right hand, kind of as scaffolding under the legs. If you don't have a block handy, you can look out to the left side. Okay, turning your head back to center. Lift the legs back to center. Uncross them. Just windscreen wiper the legs from side to side, gently, not having to come all the way down with the knees. And then just bringing your bolster or pillows under your knees if you have them. It just makes it a little bit more comfy. Don't worry if you don't. Hands might rest onto your belly. Allow yourself this time to just stop. There's nothing you have to be ready for in this moment. Just trusting that your future self will know what to do in every possible situation that sometimes the mind stews over. Acknowledging that all is well in the present. All is usually well in the present. It's never usually as bad as the mind makes it out to be. Now feel free to stay as long as you need to, but if it's time for you to finish, I'm just going to roll over onto one side. And then gently push yourself up to a seat. Hopefully feeling a little bit more grounded and relaxed in your body. You can bring your hands together at your heart space. Sealing your practice by bowing your head towards your heart. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you feel better. Namaste.